This is Daniel Ross, your humble host of Notice TV. Let me first and foremost apologize. Apologize for any bad language that I use in my videos and my recordings that I've uploaded. Most of the recordings that I'm uploading lately were early voice recordings from earlier on in my godly journey and getting to God. So if you hear a few cursing here or there or just obscene language, definitely know that it was early on in this journey. Right now, I'm working on my vocabulary and introducing new words into my vocabulary, replacing words too as well. So just bear with me and just gain the gain the experience of what I'm trying to talk about around my rants and recordings and what have you. It is Saturday, July 30th, 2022. This is Daniel Ross back again. Doing my recording on a certain dream that I had earlier. Just woke up from it. Just told my wife about it before I recorded, but yeah, this one was a little yeah, it hit, this one was crazy. Very. The dream feel like it could happen. Maybe I should just say it like that. I don't say it's too much intense. It just feel like it could definitely happen one day or in the future. I don't know. But let's get right into it. So basically, in this dream, is me and a bunch of other people that I know. I do know that it's me and a bunch of other people that I know. The only person that I could recognize that I could either remember from the group is my dad. So it's a bunch of us, right? We supposed to. It's a bunch of us, and we're supposed to be meeting some scientist, some dude, or some biologist, I would say, in somewhere. Like we're supposed to be meeting him somewhere to talk about doing something. I don't know what the heck we were supposed to be doing. But we're supposed to meet him to be doing something, maybe a project. I don't know. But anyway, we were supposed to meet him in this building, very very tall building. Um, so we get there and we at this like we in this lobby. Like this lobby was like all white floors, glass walls, all white painted walls. Like it was very like a I would say like a ball. It was a big like a ballroom, but it was all white. Like the scientists there doing whatever scientists do. There's gadgets and gulags and a whole bunch of not gulags, but a whole bunch of gadgets all over the place. People showing their stuff, technology I haven't even seen before. It's like it's I wouldn't want to call it dramatic, but there was things that I didn't see. But like it was all white floor and whatnot or whatever. But we there, right? Group of us, we there. Me and my dad were there. And like I said, we wind up meeting the dude. The dude wind up coming up to us, the scientist or biologist or whatever, winds up coming to us, and he greeted us like, hey, he greeted us. I don't know what was said, but he greeted us, and then he winds up walking off, going somewhere. Like I see him going through, this machine, and he all I know is that he left and he went upstairs. Like he went upstairs to do something. I don't know if he was coming back or whatever, but he went upstairs to wherever he went. He left from us. So I'm there, and I'm like, okay, man, I gotta meet this guy. I gotta talk. We gotta talk to him. I gotta talk to this guy because he just left out of nowhere. So I wanna leaving the rest of the group. I wanna leaving my dad and the rest of the group, and I wound up walking over to the area that the guy had left from. Like there was this machine that I seen him get on the machine and went somewhere. So I went over to the machine to basically follow him or whatever. I'm trying to find him. So I go over there and I met at the machine. I met with this young boy. I could say his age is like 8, 7, 8, 9. One of them. He's 7, 8, or 9. But the thing about this little boy, this kid, he's smart enough to use this machine. Like he's very very bright and very very smart enough to use this machine. So I talked to him. I'm like, hey, I'm trying to meet that scientist, that biologist guy there that went he left. I seen him come on the machine. I know he left. He was like, okay, yeah, come on the machine. So the kid advised me to get on the machine or whatever. So it's man, I can't even explain. I'm gonna try to explain this machine, but man, it may go over people's heads if anybody hears this or whatever. But basically, it's just this round cylindrical machine, and basically there's a door that opens up to it that allows you to enter. It's like a round machine that encloses, and once you get inside the door shuts, and you're in this machine. There's like a little computer thing in front of you that what I'm saying, that it kind of like the whole machine measures you, like what I'm saying. It measures a lot of things about you. So basically, it's like a test. It's like a test. It's testing you for the machine tests you in order for you to go up, in order for you to go ascend to the other, floors of the building that I'm in. So I'm in this machine, right? The kid turns it on. He turns on the machine, and a whole bunch of I feel a whole bunch of air coming from under me, like So I'm standing there, or I could be sitting by now. I think I'm probably sitting. Well, not really. It didn't feel like I was sitting. No, it didn't feel like I was sitting because I was still standing. But with the air, when he turned on the machine, the air was so powerful that I could actually sit and still stand up. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. The air was so intense coming up from under me that I was literally sitting down or bending my knee, but I was still standing up. I wasn't sitting on like a seat or anything like that. That's how intense the air was coming. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what it was. I didn't explain it to my wife in that way, but that's what I felt like it was. But So the air was coming up from. He turned on the machine. So I'm like, what is this? What is this? What's going on? It's like, this machine kind of measures you, and it kind of like it checks for impurities, and that's the only if you're good, you get to go up or whatever. If you're pure, or what I mean, you get to go up, or. So I was like, okay, whatever, you know what I mean. So the air, like I said, the air was coming up from under me so intense to the point I couldn't even open my eyes. Like literally, like it was hurting my eyes to open it. Like the air was coming up, so I had to close my eyes the whole procedure or whatever. So the air was coming up, and then all of a sudden, like I hear, because I can't see. I hear the machine slowing down and then cutting off or whatever, like shutting down or whatever. So I was able to open my eyes then because it was cutting off. I'm like, hey, what's going on? What happened? He was like, well, I was talking to the boy. I was like, hey, what's up? What happened? What's going on? He was like, well, you can't go up. You can't go up because you would. I'm guessing he's saying like I couldn't go up because I would have been up by now. The machine is the thing that takes you up, but the machine wind up slowing down and stopping. So I was like, hey, what's up? He was like, no, well, you can't go up. So I was like, oh, wow, what's going on? So he was like, as the machine stopped, he was like, let me check because I gotta do some things. I gotta check this and I gotta check that. So he winds up pulling out a flask. Now I'm gonna try to explain this flask. This is like a long. I would say 16-inch flask, maybe 15-inch. If anybody knows measurements or whatever, but let's say it's a 15-inch flask, and in the flask is like five slats of measurements, five slats, like five cylindrical slats in the actual in the flask. So I'm gonna try to explain it, like, you know what I'm saying. So in the five slats of measurements, did it's it's just hard to explain. But if anybody has seen a flask before, it does have some. They have. It's a long cylindrical. This is not no regular flask where it bellows into a big. This one's a straight one, a cylindrical straight flask, like a bong. If anybody had a bong before, something like that. You know what I mean? But this one's a long flask, straight cylindrical, and it had five pieces of measurements. I can't explain it. Five pieces of measurements in the flask that measures your impurities or whatever's wrong with you. So the boy had the flask, and he winds up pulling out this same color liquid, which is blue. The color was blue, right? So he poured this liquid inside the flask, and inside as he poured it inside the flask, the blue in the flask was different shades of blue now. Crazy, right? It was different. It was five different shades of blue. He poured the same color blue inside this flask, but when it went in the flask, there was five different shades of blue. So I look at the flask, and at the very bottom of the slat, the very slat on the bottom of the flask was a dark blue, very very dark. Going up from above it, the second to the last, was it was a semi dark, but it was dark, but it wasn't as dark as the one under it. As you go up to the middle, and then the second, the blue gets lighter. You know what I'm saying? The lighter you are, the better pure you are. So the lighter the blue was, which is basically the top of the flask, the more pure you are. Basically, you're good. Where I was when he measured my thing, because the flask and the blue liquid was a measurement of my impurities of the body or whatever. Where I was the second to the last, from the second from the bottom. So mine was dark, was blue, was dark blue. It wasn't the darkest blue, the very bottom, but it was the second to the bottom. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, "Yeah, you're in the bad zone. You're in the bad. You're not. You know what I'm saying? You're not. So I'm like, what does this mean? He was like, man, I don't know. You probably got something wrong with you. Probably got pulmonary artery, something about heart disease, or something about pulmonary artery disease. That's what the kid is saying. Like that's what he was saying. Like as my diagnosis, like, yo, you got something wrong with your heart, or something, a pulmonary artery, something. You know what I mean? Something's wrong. So I'm like, what are you saying? I feel fine. I'm telling the kid, look, I feel fine. What are you saying? Like, I mean, I know I was telling him, like, I know I don't exercise, but as I was saying, as I was telling him that, yo, I know I don't exercise. I'm there in the lobby, because by this time I'm outside the machine by now. You know what I'm saying? As I'm telling him, look, I know I don't go to the gym. I'm jogging in place, like literally like I'm joking, but I'm literally jogging in place and feeling my neck and feeling my heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, well, this is what the test shows, and that's why you couldn't go up. The machine couldn't pull you up because of this impurity. You got something wrong with your heart. You got pulmonary artery disease or heart disease or something. He didn't really pinpoint what it was, but had to do something with my heart. So I'm like, man, what the? So in my mind, I'm there, and I'm like, man, what the f? Like, I'm I'm like, what the heck is going on? Like, you know what I mean? And by this time, I'm getting a little afraid. Like, I'm afraid. Like, what? So, I think that's the way the dream ended. Like, you know what I mean? I woke up right after. I'm like, whoa, what the? That was too real. That was too real. Like that. Like, I feel like that could happen. Like on some futuristic movie type. Like, where did my brain think that up? Like, what? This can't. My brain can't even think anything futuristic like that. Going inside of some sort of wind machine and this kid using a blue liquid just to measure my what. I would never have thought that up. Only a person from a movie who's very futuristic and scientific. I'm not scientific. Like, how could I have even thought, like, dreamt that up? I haven't even watched a movie on some futuristic anything. Flask, scientist, anything. I haven't, like, what? That dream was just too real. I feel like it could happen. Now I'm thinking, like, man, what does this dream mean? So I told my wife, I'm like, yo, what does this mean? She's like, dreams aren't very linear. It may be about someone else. It may be, So I'm like thinking, like, what was the kid for? Like, now I'm thinking, like, my son. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I got a son, and I know he, not to say he has a heart condition, but I know he doesn't eat well as I do. And I know I've been trying to eat well, but and then put my dad in the mix. He was the only person that I could remember in the dream, and look and behold. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to say. Not that I'm trying to prevent anybody's death. I mean, I would hope I can. You know what I mean? Or I would say I would hope that I could prevent someone's suffering. I don't want to see anybody suffer. I would love to heal those individuals if I had the power to heal. You know what I mean? If I could just touch them or touch myself and I heal myself. You know what I mean? But just this dream was just mind-boggling. It's crazy because it felt so real. Like I was in the dark zone according to the blue liquid. I wasn't in the middle. I wasn't at the top. So something was wrong. So we'll see. We'll see what this means. I mean, I'm not looking forward to it, but man, I've been going. I guess if I'm going with God nowadays, since I've been going with God nowadays, yeah, he going. He or it could be the devil, because devil creeps up in your dream too. But I don't think this was the devil. I don't think this was the devil at all. This was some. This was divine. This was that the white floors, you know what I mean, the white lobby. I don't know, man. That was something. I don't know how to. I mean, I can't be an interpreter like how Joseph was in the Bible or Daniel in the Bible. I would hope I can be one day, but man, this one was a direct. This one was like a direct message. You know what I mean? This one was direct. So I'm gonna keep the recording it down. I made it too long. I might put this on video too. I might. Oh man, I feel some type of way. But anyway, thank you for listening. If anyone listens, thank you.